Yo, what is up? Back here, it is Wednesday in Tokyo. See, what is it? The 4th of November. Just it is election time in Tokyo. I mean, in America, and I'm messed up, but election time. And shout out to MLD. I think MLD is still live streaming. He's been going for like 10 hours covering the election, which is pretty crazy. I just come on here. I think it's appropriate to I might as well talk about something related to the election since it's pretty much in the news. What up, Winston? Mac Millions. I like it. Change my name to Mac Millions. But it's crazy. It seems as though it's apparently, according to the mainstream media, which I don't really trust. Well, definitely don't trust. But apparently, it's neck and neck. I don't know much about the American electoral system, but I don't know. Like, they must be cheating somehow because what up, Miguel? What is good? If you saw the campaign footage, everywhere Trump went, it's everywhere, every campaign rally speech Trump went to speak at, he had thousands and thousands of people coming to watch him speak. And anytime you saw Biden, he'd have pathetic amount of people, like just a handful of old, decrepit, not just SJW types. I mean, if they're gonna try and cheat. If they can. I mean, they openly talk about trying to cheat. Let me just share this around. But today I was going to talk about, how the consequence of a Democratic president. I just think it's obviously things are gonna get even more ridiculous if there's a Democratic president. It's already pretty bad. Link above is Arizona elections being rigged using Sharpies instead of pens to avoid machines from detecting votes. Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna try and do all these kind of things to even if Trump won fair and square, the SJWs, Black Lives Matter, the feminists, all these kinds of people, they're gonna riot. So you can see like businesses, towns boarding up their buildings, and so they don't get trashed or burnt out. But there's one thing that it's if Biden happens to win somehow, and there's another riot for whatever reason. There's another riot if some black guy gets shot charging at police with a knife or a gun or whatever, and then there's more riots, and they start burning down towns and beating people up on the street. Then I don't know how much can Republicans take, or normal people that aren't even interested in politics. how much are they going to take? Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, when is it that normal people or Republicans or people, that think rationally are going to say, right, enough's enough. I'm going to start shooting someone, because as far as I can see, I don't see in America, I don't see Republicans using violence, going out attacking people. Because the stock market is probably going to take a dip. Yeah, I wonder how it's going to, or will it affect crypto? Let's see. Bitcoin seems to be still pretty. Bitcoin is still pretty damn high. One Bitcoin in Japanese yen is still at, this is 1,436,000 yen. That's about, I don't know, in dollars, doing the conversions, that maybe, I don't know, just under that's, just under $14,000 maybe. I'm just doing I'd need to do, I'm not sure the conversion rate, but about $14,000. So it hasn't affected it too badly. Crypto is still pretty high. What is it? Miguel says, I reckon the stock market dips, crypto will go with it for a while. Yeah, so if you're into crypto, and people around me that are definitely into crypto are telling me, once it dips, sell the kitchen sink, sell whatever you have, and buy Bitcoin, because once it dips, Charlie from cryptocurrency reckons it's, if it goes anything near $11,000, buy as much as you possibly can, because I've been around Charlie for around a year, and everything he says, it seems to be pretty spot on. I'm by no means I don't know much about crypto at all, but I trust Charlie. So if it does dip, I'll be certainly buying crypto. Victor says, could you explain democracy? Democracy, I mean, it's supposed to be where the people decide. The people vote for the whatever laws. People vote the government in, so that there's not allowed to be a dictatorship. I think that's the main principle of democracy. The very, very simplified version is that people vote for their leaders, for their government. I mean, that's I'm no political expert either, but that is democracy, when people are able to choose their leaders, and vote in new governments, so that people can't control the country for generations. It's all a bit, it's, I don't know even know if democracy works, because there's so many, there needs to be something. I mean, you could have democracy, and if you have a country of idiots, they're going to vote, they could vote for something really dumb. And to me, the fact that, by Joe Biden, this creepy dude, idiot. He has like dementia. The fact that this guy is even close to beating Trump is insane. What Victor says, what's the difference between democracy and Republican people? Do you mean Democratic people? Okay, so I think you mean Democratic, the Democrats and the Republicans in America. Yeah, I'm not American, so I'm not a political expert on American politics, but I know enough to answer. Like the Democrats in America are, they used to be the liberal types. Like liberal, they'd be, more open in matters regarding sex and drugs and just freedom. They used to be pro-freedom, anti-war, more kind of progressive kind of people. And Republicans would be more conservative, family orientated, kind of they'd be more, they prefer a smaller government. But everything's getting flipped around since Trump. Like now Republicans are more anti-war, and Republicans are more pro-freedom. So the tables have been turned, and the Democrats used to be pro, like freedom of speech, all these kind of things, and Republicans were maybe a little less towards freedom of speech and whatnot. But just in the past, I don't know, especially the things really sped up since Trump in 2016. But now the Democrats are all like pro censorship, pro big government. The worst point about the Democrats, the most sickening, disgusting thing is how pro censorship they are. They're extremely pro censorship. They try and censor people. They try and get people deplatformed. They try and the Democrats are more closer to fascists now, actual fascists, not in the fake. They call Republicans fascists, but from what I see, I don't see Republicans behaving like fascists in America. This is the same in Europe. We have the same. There's all across the Western world. The thing about America is whatever happens in America goes down, spreads out into other English-speaking countries, and not only English-speaking, but obviously it affects the English-speaking countries first. But it is very weird how, and the number one word that comes to mind when I think of the Democrats, the supposed liberal progressives, is censorship. They just love censorship, and it's getting really out of hand. Like it's really messing with people. I mean, even my live streams, every one of my live streams has been I've had to appeal because they're all getting, I get this doesn't abide by our community guidelines message right after I finish live streaming, and I have to appeal it. And these they're even trying to censor. They're trying to censor me. I don't know. For some reason, they're on appeal. They upload them again, but I have to. It's really annoying. Eventually, I don't know. They might just not allow me to upload anymore, or we'll see. I don't know, but literally every one of these live streams have been I've had to appeal. After I finish live streaming, I get a message. I have to I have to appeal it, and that's tiny. But I mean, some people, look what happened. Alex Jones. They deplatformed him off every platform within the same few days. Coordinated attack on a guy on his channels, on everything. Not only that, not only was his social media, it's his livelihood, that's his business. They were taken down in the matter of a few days, And not only that, his banking, his PayPal, everything, his means of getting money were also, shut down. So it's very, you know, Miguel says in Spain, we're noticing these effects too. Victor says, what does socialism mean? Socialism, that is what, this is why, countries like, look at what happened in Venezuela. These are countries that socialism is a concept where, it's like everyone would, maybe get a certain amount of income. So basically, it's the idea of getting stuff for free. Free healthcare, free this, free that, free the other. But what these socialists don't understand is that, if you're getting free healthcare, who's working? Like the doctors, the nurses, like the money has to come from somewhere. So it's nothing is free. That's what these people don't understand. There's no such thing as free. The money has to come from somewhere, and these countries turn to shit. Look what happened in Venezuela. Venezuela has an incredible amount of natural resources, like oil and whatnot, and it should be an incredibly rich country, but they had socialism. And now, I mean, I don't know what's going on right now, but from what I see, it's completely turned to shit. I mean, women are selling themselves for food, and it's complete disaster. So it doesn't really work out if you don't have an incentive to work. If the government is just going to give you free money, you're not going to work hard, and this is what happens in these socialist, communist type countries. People lose the incentive to improve their lives, and because if your potential earnings are capped at a certain amount, some shit salary, then you're gonna be like, oh, what's the point? What's the point in starting a business if I can only earn so much? If all the money I'm gonna have to give to the government, there's no incentive to improve your life or make a business and make a lot of money, because it'll be like, oh, I have to give it to the government anyway, so I might as well just like do nothing and try and get, so these countries all fall to crap. Miguel says, 4 years ago, Spain was cool and super safe. Now it's a different story. Yeah, I mean, it's been years. I went to Spain years ago and it seemed pretty cool. I don't know what it's like these days. I know what's happened there. Rob Mash Nation says, I'm trolling females on Facebook, bro. Would you collaborate with Bradicious? What is Bradicious? I'm not sure what that is. These, but basically I wanted to talk about, the consequences of if the Democrats actually win, if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get into office. Would you collaborate with Bradicious? I'm not familiar with. Rob says, like Bradicious the PUA. I'm actually not familiar with who that is, but maybe, I don't know. I'd have to check out his link me to his channel or his website. Collaborate how? I don't know. If we could collaborate, maybe. I'm open to talking with anyone, but so I was thinking, if Joe Biden becomes president, first of all, I think, it's I just think shit will really hit the fan. like in a big way. Like they're so they're not just left. Like the Democrats are like far left now, and they're just so full of hypocrisy. Uh, and the when you try to build a country on just a foundation of hypocrisy and lies and stuff that just isn't true, it's bound it's bound to fail. Some people call it accelerationism. Um, I recently started watching a guy called Aaron Clary. He's been on MLD's Modern Life Dating channel a number of times, and I think quite a few times. But he's his stuff is seriously based, and he talks. I saw one video where he talks about the idea of um, letting basically the best way to get revenge on leftists and people that are just really people that are the enemy, basically people who you really despise. But rather than attacking them or getting yourself in trouble, or the best thing you can do is to encourage them. So if they tell you that these crazy leftist ideas where men are this equal to women, and like not even equal, that men and women are the same, there's no difference. Some woman comes up and says to you, men and women, there's absolutely no difference, like there's zero difference. So, because it sounds absurd, but this is actually believed by a lot of people on the left. They will actually argue the point that there's like no difference between men and women, zero. And we know as rational men, this is a ridiculous idea. But the best revenge you could get, instead of getting into an argument with someone that is that crazy, that is that deluded, that just is that infuriating, you just say, yeah. There's no difference between men and women. We're the exact same. I think encourage them even more. Say that you think there should be, sports shouldn't be segregated. Boxing, MMA, kickboxing, martial arts, we need to integrate. We need to get rid of the gender categories. Encourage people like this, and then she'd be like, oh yeah, I can kick ass. I'll try and fight. I'll try and fight join an MMA tournament and join the men's category. And she'll possibly get killed. Like it with a single punch. These people are so infuriating. You need to lead them down a road instead of arguing with them, because arguing with people with such low IQ will, they'll get angrier. You'll get angrier. You won't achieve anything. So I really, really, I can't remember the title of his video, but it's one of the few that I saw, and it really was like, yes, that's the point, man. It's not the first time I heard that idea. That there's an idea that is called accelerationism, and that's what that means. It means to, instead of fighting it, encourage it. Encourage someone that is doing something really bad or really wrong. Encourage them to go further, and you will see karma enact itself sooner, if you get my drift. You will see them have to pay the price for their idiocy. It just serves you a lot better than having to argue with them and waste energy on idiots that will, first of all, they're never going to agree with you. They're not going to speak to you rationally. So this is why it can be a very effective tactic that we could use. Instead of arguing, encourage them to go further, and we'll see karma enact itself before our lives, before our eyes. We'll see these idiots have to pay for their stupidity, and it'll be sweet. It'll be enjoyable to watch people have to, eat their fucking shorts. Victor says, "Do you think Lefty know they are full of shit, or they're just so delusional?" Good question. So there are many kinds. There are the type. There are lefties who are very, very stupid. I think there's a lot of lefties who are just very, very stupid. But it would be unfair and it would be disingenuous to call every lefty stupid. There's definitely very intelligent people on the left, like geniuses. Like, I mean, you can't deny it. There's, Silicon Valley, all these kind of high tech. There's obviously very smart people on the left. However, these people are, generally when a lefty is very intelligent, usually they're very, they're just they're either, they're a coward. So they're a mixture of being intelligent but also suffering from cowardice. And these are the worst kind of people, because they're intelligent enough to know that they're full of shit, but they're just like extremely cowardly. And then there are a lot of lefties who are just really, really not intelligent, like just really basic sheep type people, NPC characters who just actually don't have the intelligence. So the propaganda works extremely well on these kind of people. They consume the propaganda and they believe the propaganda. They're not intelligent. They just they're easy. They're naive. They're easy to manipulate. And even worse than that, there are the low IQ, low intellect cowards. So these are a mixture of being cowardly and very dumb. And these people are the most sickening. These people are just extremely pathetic kind of people. We're talking really kind of, you don't want to have anything to do with these kind of people. Like a mixture of cowardice and low intellect. You just want to avoid these people in your life, because they'll just make your life worse by being around them. Just try and stay away from people like that. You also want to stay away from the intelligent ones who, because they're intelligent enough to kind of make your life worse. Yeah, they're the type of people that are involved in Silicon Valley and these big tech companies. Yeah, these people are dangerous people. They they can really kind of destroy your life. That's why my biggest criticism of people on the right, not people on the right, not individuals on the right, but the people that are pro freedom, libertarians or open-minded, Republicans, whatever. It depends on what country you're from, Republicans, but we're talking about America. But the people on the right, let's just say, in the Western world, around the world, we really need to up our game regarding technology, because right now technology and big tech has been monopolized by the left, and that's not good. That's not a good sign for people like us. Like we need to have like the smartest people developing platforms that are pro freedom of speech, pro liberty, like actual liberty, like because right now there's stuff like there's these platforms like BitChute, and I honestly, we need to start supporting them more, because right now it's they're not good enough. Like, they're not, the quality isn't there, and there should be better quality platforms for people like us to use, like red pill people, where we're like free to speak without any um restrictions. Obviously, of course, there needs to be some restrictions. I mean, you can't, there's certain content you obviously can't put up on social media, on stuff like child abuse and stuff like that. But we're getting censored for just like speaking our minds about facts and truth. We can't talk about the beer bug. We can't talk about basic red pill facts. um we're getting crushed. And it's it can't really, we're not going to survive if it continues. Kevin Case says men gave up dealing with feminists a while ago, but now they are running wild without anyone to tell them any criticism. Yeah, and that's very true. Know Your Worth says academia is where the rubric needs to change. Academia is a real shit show. I mean, we have honestly, what's the point in going to study in university if you're not in STEM fields? Uh, you know, real garbage. I mean, especially in America, uh, you have like you have people paying like insane amounts of money for garbage degrees, like in nothing. Like, I'm from Ireland, and look, in Ireland, we don't have, we have some minimal. When I was in college, we had small fees, small enough, reasonably small fees that we would pay, but just like entrance fees. We didn't have college tuition fees. It's basically subsidized by the government. So I didn't have to. I studied art. So honestly, that's a very useless degree. Very useless. It was a different time. I was a younger person. I was a very different person back then. And the thing is, you know, my God, if I was in America and I had to pay for what I studied, like I said, I had to pay some small fees. We're talking like very small, like, a couple of hundred, entrance fees, we call them, but it's not tuition fees. I did not have to pay tuition fees, but some people pay. No, not some people. In America, people pay tuition fees, like, huge money, like insane. And it's just like, at least I didn't have to pay tuition fees. Would like that, I would feel like an absolute idiot if I had to pay. But Ireland's a different country. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go by that anymore. Anytime these people, talk about wanting to do something stupid or believing in an ideology, if you meet someone at a party, encourage them. Encourage them. Yeah, go ahead. You're not, getting a bachelor degree is not enough. You will need to get a master's in your feminism studies, in your intersectionality studies. These days, it's very important that you get a doctorate in whatever, gender studies or whatever, because you need to, this kind of garbage. Like, if you meet someone like this and you know that they're an idiot, that you're not going to be able to red pill them, just encourage them, because these people deserve what's coming to them. These people will stab you in the back, so you want to get them, push them further down the road they're on, towards hell, because these people will end up like, they will pay the price. Karma exists. I'm not speaking like some airy fairy kind of Oh, karma. No, karma is a concept. I've seen it too many times. It's like if you do something bad, you will pay the price somehow. And you know what I mean? Even just even just something like, even smoking cigarettes. You smoke every day, you pay the price. You'll get lung cancer down the road or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the things we do have for every action there's a reaction. So people will pay the price. They're not going to get away with this. They will suffer. Um, and this is how I'm going to get revenge on these people. I'm gonna encourage them. I'm not gonna like promote their ideas, but I'm talking about if you're on a date, if you're at a house party, if you're anywhere, if you come across these people in your dealings, in your social life, if of course you shouldn't be around these kind of people. They shouldn't be in your social circle. But we can't. We're humans, so we're social creatures. We have to meet these kinds of people. We're out in the world. We're gonna meet idiots. We're gonna meet these people that are irredeemable. They're irredeemable, and you can't save them. So give them a little push in the direction they're already going, and it's better than like getting in a fight with someone and going to jail over beating someone's ass. I don't know, you know what I mean. I'm not saying like of course, if someone attacks you, if they're first to attack you, beat their ass, like beat them without mercy. But I'm saying you shouldn't get worked up over these people because they're not worth it. Yeah, so Victor says subjects except STEM are useless. Very true, very true. You should, if you're going to university, do what you got to do and study something useful. Take it from me, from someone who did not do it, and I'm saying I regret that. And if you're going to be going to university for 4 years of your life, first of all, study something useful. Second of all, smash as much pussy as possible, because university is an absolute gold mine for pussy. Good times to be had. I did not. I had a reasonable. I had a so-so, we'd say, reasonably good time in university, but I was extreme. I wouldn't say extremely blue pill. I was ignorant, let's just say. Ignorant. I was just not aware of red pill, blue pill concepts. I was certainly more blue pill than red pill, but I didn't understand I didn't know about the concepts back then. I just ignorant to it, but I certainly behaved in a very blue pill manner at certain times. And other times it would have been considered very red pill, but I was unaware that of the ideas. But if I had my brain now, if I was as aware back then as I am now, I would have been a savage. I would have been unstoppable. I would have been king of that college. I would rule that campus. I would have, let's just say I left a lot of pussy on the table, but it is what it is. We got to learn. Hindsight is 2020 vision. When we go into the future, we look back and we know what we could have done better. But as long as you learn, and you progress, it's all good. Let's just see. Well, Victor says, why is the media pushing the PC agenda? Why is the media pushing the PC agenda? I mean, because the media the media is distributing the propaganda, and right now the media is run by people who have certain agendas, globalist agendas. You can go down the rabbit hole, but there's a big reset going to be happening. in the world, and they're all. This isn't some conspiracy thing. This is real. Like this is out in the open. There's look up the Great Reset, like the fourth industrial revolution. This is what we're involved in now. This is what the bear bug has been. This is what this is all about. You know, this is all out in the public. This isn't even being hidden anymore. This is all connected to the bear bug, and there's extremely powerful rich people behind it. Connected. This all is connected to the climate change agenda. You know, they're gonna try and herd us into big cities and make it very difficult to travel, but at the same time they're going to try to get rid of nation states. So while it's hard to describe, but it will be difficult in the Western world, especially. It will be difficult for natives to travel, but they'll take in native, countries especially in the Western world, will take in as many foreigners as possible to try and dilute the culture and get rid of. They're basically trying to get rid of nation states, get rid of any kind of nationalism, because once they want countries divided so that people can't join together and fight for a common cause. And because once people are divided, they can control the countries easier. And this is what's happening. It's out in the open. They're trying. A lot of Western countries openly say the idea of a sovereign country is like archaic, or it's in the past. We're not interested. My home country my home country, Ireland, the prime minister in the later my country says that the idea of a sovereign country is archaic. We don't want anything to do with that idea. So he openly talks about, this isn't some conspiracy that they're trying to get rid of a nation state, or any kind of identity. They're openly saying it because they're all compromised. All these globalists have serious dirt on all these politicians. It's no coincidence that the European headquarters for all these big tech companies are in Dublin, Ireland. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I don't know. List goes on. Probably all of them. They're all in Ireland, and since they came to Ireland, Ireland has become outrageous. Apple as well. Outrageously liberal. I'm not talking a little bit leaning on the left. No, I'm talking seriously far left. Like, Ireland used to be a Christian country, and I always talk about this with my mates back in Ireland. We got all the worst traits of liberalism. We didn't even have the fun parts, like the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We didn't even really get that. We got like the worst, like feminism and the hatred against men, and we didn't even have the sexual revolution. We just got the shitty parts. Because I'm kind of a political mongrel. I'm not right. I'm not just on the right. I have all these kind of some people might even call me liberal, and I'm liberal in some ways. I'm a libertarian because I'm pro freedom. I'm all about freedom, but then again, I'm pro. I think countries need borders, and I think so I'm not some kind of uptight someone on. I think everyone on this chat knows that I'm not some kind of uptight guy on the right. That's why I always talk about the tables have been turned. the real liberals now are people that are on the right, because we're pro freedom. We're like, like, let me just lay me the hell alone. Let me do my own thing. you know just get out of my business, let me speak, let me be free. But all these lefties, all these feminists, all these SJWs coming down on top of us, trying to control our speech, trying to get us in trouble for what we say, trying to like stop us from hooking up with women, trying to dictate to us how we approach women, telling us that we're not allowed to do day game, telling us that we're not allowed to approach women anywhere, basically. you know it's kind of wild times we live in. It's weird. It's only on, the title of this show is, the consequences of a Democrat getting in government. That is, we got some consequences there, because it's bad enough as it is. I mean, Trump. Well, we had Trump. At least he's he's kind of delaying. I guess someone like Trump, he's kicking the can. Obviously I prefer Trump, but just the way the demographics are changing in the United States. So I think it's inevitable that you're eventually going to get Democrats in, and when you do, it's gonna be kind of, it's gonna get a lot worse. Know your worth. Like Jordan Peterson, he considers himself a classic liberal, but he falls into the right camp because he makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, anyone who, if you make sense, if you're just using your intellect, if you're using rationale, if you're automatically on the right, because what we see coming from the left is nonsense. Like, it's gibberish, it's garbage, it's built on a foundation of hypocrisy. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh my, are these people trolling? Like, are they actually? Some of the nonsense they come out with is so ridiculous that you think these people are joking around, but the funny thing is, they're actually not. They're actually dead serious. They push like garbage nonsense. I don't know. It just, the first thing, the thing that comes to mind is, I don't even remember her name or whatever, but there was some trans female MMA fighter, and she broke. She was fighting a real female, not a trans. So it was a trans female against a real female, and the real female got her skull broken by a punch. Her skull was broken, like cracked open her skull, and the left will be like, that's okay, that's all good. And this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you come across some rabid like feminist, and she's like, men and women are the same, there's no difference biologically, anything, we're all completely equal. Know your worth, says Fallon Fox. Cheers for that. Yeah. So that's just one example that comes to mind. There's a lot more, but people on the left would argue that that's okay. There's trans women are women, and they come out with garbage stuff like, if you refuse, as a straight man, refusing to sleep with trans women are homophobic, and they almost say that it should be illegal, or if you don't, if you refuse to hook up with a trans woman because she's a trans woman, then it's somehow discrimination or something. And this is the kind of garbage. This is what, if Joe Biden gets into power, this kind of garbage is going to accelerate. Like, call it accelerationism. And it's gonna get, the shit is really gonna hit the fan. It's gonna be, you think it's bad now, like the laws and the bills they're gonna pass when Joe, if I hope he doesn't, but if he does, they're gonna be outrageous. And can you imagine, Joe? I mean, he's on his last legs. It's not him. He has dementia. He's an old man, and he's on his last legs. He's gonna die. I mean, he's no, but it will be that fucking Kamala Harris, and she boils my piss. I'm not even American. I'm Irish, but I can only imagine how it feels like if you were a committed American. If you're like I'm, they have no intention of moving abroad. My piss would be boiled because I'm Irish. I'm not even connected to America, but America affects the world, But my piss boils when I listen to that woman. Like I can only imagine how Americans feel when they have to listen to her. And imagine she's president. Oh my God. And the bills she'd be getting passed. Just would really be too much. I don't think I'd be able to stomach it. Winston says they're going to berate people by calling them woman fuckers. Not sure what you mean by that, but Know Your Worth says my nuts retreat into my body when she utter anything. Yeah, her fake smile, her obnoxiousness, her pretentiousness, just yeah. It's just she reminds me of the worst traits of every female teacher I've ever had all throughout my life. The most kind of fakeness. Just the fake. I just can't even put into words how it makes me feel, but it's not a I gotta say that I could kind of understand how repulsed these idiot leftists are. I can understand how the leftists felt when Trump won. If someone like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got in, I'd be as repulsed as them. But I'm not a leftist, so I'd figure out a way to I can get the positives out of things. I'll like I said, I call it accelerationism because I believe in karma. So I'm not, well, I wouldn't be, not going to be on the streets like screaming and crying like these lefty lunatics are, but I'll enjoy the karma that these people suffer because we all pay a price for shitty and dumb decisions. I've seen it too many times. Like I've seen it in real life. Like we've all seen people pay. We've all seen instant karma too. Like someone does something stupid and they instantly fucking pay the price for it, and it'll be sweet because they will pay the price for it. But but in the meantime, I guess we just gotta wait and see who's gonna win. I think I call Trump. I just I just look at the rallies. Look at the Trump rallies. Trump just had packed out arenas, like thousands and thousands of people. I mean, Biden never had anything like that. So it's obvious. I mean, it's in plain sight. You don't need to look at stats. You don't need to look at this, that, and the other. Just look at the visuals. Trump has such a vibrant support. You don't need to even look at the stats. Some things are just obvious, It's like the beer bug. You don't really even need to look at the stats. You just, after like a couple of months, and especially after it's almost, we're coming up on a year, you don't really even need to look at stats. You just think, you look around, look at society around you. There's no people falling dead on the street. At certain points, things are just so obvious, So personally, I think that the Democrats are already cheating like mad because I don't even see how it could be close because there's such an intense support for Trump. Just even individuals like from the rallies, and then you look at Biden forgetting how to speak, sniffing children, uh, being a creep, uh, just being just crepid and like frail, and then contrasting with an obnoxious, pretentious, just hideous like excuse for a woman. And you think, how could they possibly, beat Trump that has all this vibrant support from people who just want to be left alone? They just want to have liberty and have get on with their lives. And the Miguel says the rigging is real though. Dems are doing all they can to take advantage of the millions. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's I've seen videos on Twitter where there's Democrats talking about how they can actually rig the election, and so there's I don't know. I don't see this going smoothly at all. I think there'll definitely be some fallout. This isn't gonna go either way. There's gonna be trouble. I think there'll definitely be, because I don't know. I don't know how America can continue as a country, because it's so polarized. You just can't agree on certain things. It's sometimes I don't know in the future what's going to happen. Is it going to be a war? Is it going to be a civil war? Is there going to be, or is America going to get divided? Let California fend for itself. You'll see how democratic policies turn out then. It'll, who knows what'll happen. But it is interesting all the same. But the kind of thing that is actually annoys, is kind of depressing, is the consequence of Biden getting in. The thing that really sucks is that he'll continue he'll accelerate this bear bug shit, and that's good for no one. That'll affect all of us. You know what I mean? That'll restrict our freedoms in a genuine way. It's not just something that some idea. It's not really like feminist ideas. These kind of lockdowns and this bear bug nonsense really affects us in a genuine way. What's up, Afi? Good to see you here. Good to see you join. Yeah. I mean, there's not much we can do, but the main reason I really would be very happy if Trump got in again is because I'm just pro freedom. I want to be able to travel again, because all this nonsense, you can be sure, will be prolonged if Biden gets in. There'll be more lockdowns. There'll just be less freedom. There'll be more nonsense airports. There'll just be the proliferation of nonsense ideas. There'll be fines for not wearing masks. You can guarantee that. But you just gotta kind of, sometimes there's things that are just completely out of your hands. Like obviously this is one of them. It's completely out of your hands, unless you're an American where you have a tiny something small you could do where you could vote. But that's you're still Of course, yeah, that's a small thing, but if if Biden gets in, it's not like you can't change it as an individual. So you just roll with it, you know, roll with the punches, you know. Like I said, if you come across these idiots in your real life, encourage them. Just encourage them to mess up their lives even more. I'm talking about people who you're not loyal to or whatever. You know, obviously friends. You're not gonna. I'm not talking when I say encourage these people to ruin their lives. I'm not talking about friends. Like, don't encourage your friends to you know. I'm talking about your enemies, the people who will stab you in the back, the people who will try and ruin your life if you disagree with them. These are kinds of people I'm talking to push and encourage them to continue with their nonsense, and you know that's all you can do really, and just get on with your life and enjoy it. But I'm that's gonna be my philosophy, because there was a time when I used to argue with idiots, and there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. Sometimes it can be fun to argue, but yeah, other times not so much. Um, you know, but yeah, I don't know. That's just my rant about today's election, the consequences of it, of what might happen if a Democrat gets in. I really hope not. You know, I don't think it'd be good. I want the world to open up again. I want to be able to travel around. I think we all want that. Just I'm pro freedom. But yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll talk then. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm wondering if this will get flagged again, but it is what it is. Censorship, who knows? But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Have a good one wherever you're at. Peace out. Catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.